That's a great question. So HFN is a very unique model in the industry. There have been a number of attempts to try and emulate it. HFN was one of the first in the nation to follow this model. Unfortunately, a lot of the others have fallen by the wayside. The nature of this business is it's very expensive to build a network like this, and any wrong decision can really be catastrophic. And so unfortunately, a lot of the people who were making the decisions on a community-owned fiber network weren't maybe people who were that familiar with building a network like this. So I would say the HFN from the get-go has been very blessed with a very talented group of directors who have provided great leadership and still continue. Some of them have been part of the leadership from day one. And so that's been unique, that HFN has survived as long as it has. The other thing that's very unique is Port Blakely really had that vision for creating community, creating sustainability, and their family values. And so there are some builders out there who are building networks, but they're doing it with the intention of keeping that network as a way to make additional profit in the neighborhoods that they're building. And so really having Port Blakely's vision to turn the network back over to the community is extremely unique. The other thing that's really difficult about a community network such as this is that if you don't build it at the time that the homes are being built, the cost to construct is 10 times what it would be after you've put in your curb and gutter and sidewalk and streets. And so you really have to have that vision from the beginning in order to have a network like this. And so, for so many reasons, HFN is very unique. And also, I don't really see that there's much chance that a network like this is going to exist in the future. We currently have about 3,450 customers on our network, 650 of which have upgraded to gig, which is 2 times where we were at pre-pandemic. So that's a pretty amazing number itself. Yeah, that's a great question. It's hard to really pinpoint what any kind of common glitch or common service affecting issues, because there are just such a wide range of issues. So I'll go to what should users do first. The most important thing that I would stress to anybody watching this video is if you're having any issues whatsoever, to reach out to our support teams. You can either call 425-427-0999 or send an email to support@hfnservices.com. I think a lot of times what people do, they go to social media, hey, is the network down? And one person says, yep, I turned in a ticket, and then people think, oh, well, they know about it, so they're working on it. And while that's true, if only one person contacts us, a lot of what our engineers are looking at is, we only have one ticket, so it must be something inside the home. And so they'll spend a lot of time looking at, is their power supply bad? Is there a problem with their drop? Is there a problem with their equipment? Is there something that's configured wrong? Where there may be 50 people out and all on social media talking about it. So if we got 50 people who all turn in tickets right away, then our engineers aren't going to waste any time looking at something inside the home. They're going to look at common cause. How are all these 50 people related? Are they all part of the same section of the neighborhood? And then we can look at, maybe there's a problem with the fiber. Maybe a fiber got dug up, or maybe they're all connected to the same piece of equipment in the data center. And the more tickets we have, the more data points we have, the quicker that we're able to come up with that solution. And so instead of it taking 30 minutes or an hour or 2 hours to go through all those steps from looking inside the home to all the way back in the network, when we have 50 tickets come in, a lot of times we can figure out what's going on and fix it within 5 or 10 minutes. So I would just stress really getting those tickets created. As far as common glitches, what we're seeing a lot of most recently is with these wireless mesh systems that people have. They'll a lot of times have like an automatic update that they'll do in the middle of the night, and for whatever reason, they don't connect back to our network and our equipment after they do their factory settings. And so people go to bed and their internet's working, they wake up, it's not working, and it must be a problem. And so just a quick call to our tech support, we can usually work through what you need to do to get your equipment connected back to the network. There's the most common point of failure is just with the power supply that feeds the equipment in the home. They have a life, and sometimes they just go bad, and we just need to replace it. So it's a simple fix. But there's a number of other things that can go wrong. So it's really tough to say what the most common thing might be. Yeah, so we're doing a lot of work to help keep our network fresh and to update any old infrastructure. In the past couple of years, we've replaced our power systems, replaced generators, replaced our cooling systems. We're actually in the middle of replacing one of the cooling systems at one of our data centers. It should be coming online here in the next couple of weeks. It's very nerve-wracking to be in the middle of changing out a cooling system when you have a record heat wave. Thankfully, our existing cooling system did just great, so we're happy about that. But there was definitely, when we're looking at the weather reports and looking at this heat wave, it's like, gosh, why couldn't this be a month later when we had this new cooling system in? We also have identified there were some portions of the network that were built with multi-mode fiber. Not a recommendation that I think people in the telecom industry would have made, but an understandable decision that was made by some people who maybe weren't that familiar with building out a fiber network. So we've been in the process of replacing the multi-mode fiber with single mode. We've done about 60 to 70% of the neighborhood that had multi-mode up to this point, and we've received quotes from our construction partners to replace the last bit of the multi-mode with single mode. And the bids came in about $2 million. So we're looking to bite off little chunks of that and hope to have all those upgrades completed by the end of 2023. Yeah, so the great thing about HFN is because all the money that comes to us stays right here. So we really have a lot of opportunities to reinvest in the community and reinvest in the network. And so HFN and the board of directors, they were really proud of the fact that we were one of the first people to offer symmetrical gigabit service in the country. We beat Google to the market, and we have every intention of being at the cutting edge of whatever the next advancement is. And it's tough to really say where the industry is going currently, but we just know that we were doing everything that we can do to be ready for it. Part of the upgrades to from our multi-mode to single mode fiber is in preparation for that next speed jump. The multi-mode fiber works great for the current speed offerings that we have, but we really we know that if we make the jump to 5 gig or 10 gig in the future, that we'll really need to get that single mode in the ground, because the multi-mode just won't support speeds like that. Starting in 2021, all of the new gear and electronics that we're putting into our network is all capable of 10 gig speeds. And so we've got an eye towards the future and whatever that is. We certainly don't want to make unwise investments with our money. Anybody who rushed out to buy a 3D TV years ago probably knows that while that seemed really cool at the start, it just didn't really ever take off the way that some people thought it would. So we're just doing everything we can to improve our reliability, and then be ready for whatever that next jump is as soon as the consumer grade electronics and we can, the price comes down and we can really see that that's where the industry is going. We'll be ready to make that jump. The best way to get involved with the community is just to really reach out. If you have any ideas about anything that we could be doing differently or anything that we could be doing better, I'd love to hear from you. Like I mentioned before, we have a great board of directors who are very tech savvy and very knowledgeable in the industry and have really provided great direction. And so it is a big time commitment, but we do have some positions that are going to be opening on the board, I think in February. So if you think that you fit that mold and are more interested in being involved in the leadership, we definitely could invite you to some future board meetings so you could kind of see the flow and see what we talk about. Otherwise, I'd just love to hear from you if you have any ideas. We really are focusing on being leaders in the industry and focusing on reliability, but maybe there's something that we're missing that we could be offering. So any ideas that anybody has, feel free to reach out to me. jfallt@hfn.org is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. But you can also give me a call. My number's on the web, so reach out to me anytime.